Welcome back into Sports Talk. We're in a little bit of a different environment here today, Morgan, but still talking the same thing we talked about to start the week. Track and field state championships, Class A Division I plus 6A. Kind of a tale of two classes for us. We had some high expectations for Class A Division I, and then some standouts that we were looking forward to watching in Class 6A. We have to start with Thomasville because we had high hopes that they would go back-to-back. This team is loaded both on the boys and the girls side. It didn't quite go as planned, but one person that it did go as planned for was Michaela Clark. She continues to be an absolute stud.
Yeah, Michaela went back to back and back to back in two different classifications at that. The first time I saw her run, I remember it being at Q Mills, and she was a freshman then. I'm like, this girl's gonna be good, and she has proven so. I think she placed in all her events yesterday. You look at her in the 300-meter hurdles, taking first in that, obviously, and then the 400-meter hurdles, she takes, not the 400-meter hurdles, the 400 meters, she takes that, and it's almost like the 400 and 300-meter hurdles are back to back. So then she goes to the 300-meter hurdles and she places in second. And I don't know how my girl did it, but she talked to me a little bit about it after she finished her races. Take a listen.
I just keep telling myself God got me, to be honest. After the 400, I tried to sit down and get some rest because I knew I had the 300 right after. And even worse, I was in the first heat, so I was in the slower heat and not with the fast girls. But I told myself I got to run by myself, I got to run for time, I got to push myself. And I just did my best, and I came out there and ran.
She said she enjoyed seeing her name in that record book. I mean, one more year left. I feel like the sky is the limit for her. She reminds me of Sydney McLaughlin. Can you agree?
And she has that energy, like the energy, the kind of the spunkiness. She's always smiling. I definitely can see where that's coming from. She's just an athlete that has such a high ceiling. And then, you know, she's part of the relay teams, and they do really well in that as well. When you're that decorated as a high school athlete, I can only imagine as that confidence continues to grow, what she can be at the next level. Really, really happy for her and what she was able to do. And this is a Thomasville team that always pushes her because she has competition there. She has people that are challenging her. Just talk a little bit about that atmosphere at Thomasville that kind of makes this team go.
Well, you kind of led right into what I was going to say. They had multiple people place in multiple events, and then you look at the 300-meter hurdle specifically. Journey Guyon actually placed third in this, I believe, and she spoke about what it means to her to run beside Michaela.
It feels good just being up there with your teammate, and y'all both been working so hard for this, and y'all both get to cherish the moment of being up there with each other. It really feels good.
I talk a lot about competition and being able to push yourself, running in the same heats with people that are going to challenge you so you can get the best out of yourself. Having a teammate like Journey is helping Michaela do that each and every time she's on the track. When we talk about the girls 4x200, again, more talent coming from Thomasville. LaKenya Johnson, the anchor leg, they placed third. This is a team that's on the podium. Where does Thomasville rank, do you think, when you start talking about the teams across the state as far as just the ability to have so many talented athletes in so many different events?
Well, you look at the girls, they placed second behind Bleckley. It was, behind Vidalia, actually. It was the same on each side in Single A Division I. You had Bleckley taking on the boys and girls side, then Vidalia, and then Thomasville girls finished second along with the boys. The girls were just 2 points away from second, and it's like, okay, if they would have just finished higher in one event, they would have been in second place. But even just looking at the 4x1, LaKenya had been battling an injury all year, and she ran the anchor leg, but she talked about how she was able to just kind of persevere and still make it to the podium with her teammates.
So I was hesitant at first because my leg, it was hurting. The whole leg was hurting. So I got rewrapped, and I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this, but I had to push it for my team so we can qualify. Okay, so I got my leg wrapped, and soon as the race started, I was a little nervous, but I got out, and we was able to come in 5th place, and I was happy for it.
One runner that we also forgot to mention, Lauren Sampson, she's finished 5th place in the 400 as well, right up there with Michaela. So, I mean, this team's in a really good spot heading into next season. But on the boys' side, it seems like they're losing a lot.
They are. They battled through a lot of injuries, which I know probably discouraged them going into state, which is a tough. We knew what Caden and Carter Walker were going to bring to the table, and they were going to stand out in their particular events. Starting with the single 4x100, though, They set records. Talk about what you got to see from them in the 4x1.
Yeah, not only did they set a record for Thomasville High School, they set a state record in all of single A, so that's Division I, Division II. These guys, they came out, they wanted it, and you could say they were running with a chip on their shoulder. They didn't qualify in the 4x2, which obviously that hurt them. And then they got DQ'd in this event for last year. So when I tell you they came back and came for everything they lost last year, they did just that.
It's a blessing, you know. We the best in South Georgia, man. You already know.
And the state.
We talk about the twins. They're part of the relay. They also take second and third in the 100-meter dash. When you look at those two, how special has it been for you to watch them run over the past couple of seasons?
It's just so cool because they're twins, obviously. And it's like, I feel like sometimes you have twins. One of them might be strong. One of them might be fast. Both of them have speed. And I feel like sometimes it's a toss-up to see who's going to win what. But it's so fun seeing them run together because although track is an individual sport, it's an individual team sport. And to see their connection on the relay team and kind of how they encourage everyone else, it's been so fun to watch. And I know they're going to miss each other because I spoke with them about it after their events today.
It means a lot, you know, we've been doing it most of our lives together on the track, so just doing it one more last time, so the guy with
place with a time of 12.1.
Go home.
Morgan, final talking point here for the Thomasville Bulldogs, a team we had high hopes for. Makari Williams, his performance, 4x1, the long jump, the hurdles, and they did male high point champions. You were kind of explaining that to me. Just what about his performance stood out to you, and how did all that play out throughout the week?
Yeah, Makari's so good. You saw him on the 4x1 team setting that record. And he's really good at the long jump. He got third in that and then also took third in 300-meter hurdles. He's kind of quiet, but he's kind of like that silent killer. He really has a lot of talent. And it was fun just to see him get out there and really score all those points yesterday.
And then, Morgan, before we go to break here, Coach had a message. You didn't get to talk to him on camera after the meet, but he did send you a message. What was that message?
Yeah, he just told me that he's extremely proud of both of these groups. He sent me the screenshots with both of them finishing in third. And I feel like you said, all that they've been through this season with the injuries and all that, you got to be happy for it. You got to be excited for this team because I can only imagine what their ceiling will be. I'm not sure when their new track will be done, but once they get that new track and do some official training, getting out the blocks, running on a track, I'm just excited to see what Coach Guyton will be able to do with the Thomasville Bulldogs moving forward. New
facilities on the way and more spectacular athletes to come for South Georgia. Stay with us. When we come back, we're going to start tackling some of those long-distance runners. Rush Hatcher, a big one out in Worth County. We're going to check in on how he fared after the break. Welcome back to Sports Talk. All right, Morgan, we have to turn our attention to, one of my favorites is the distance runners. And Rush out in Sylvester has been doing his thing. He didn't have quite the finish that I think he wanted in the 3,200, came in fourth there, but you did get a chance to see him run. Did you notice anything different, and was there more competition out there for him up there in Athens?
No, I imagine that's where a lot of Bleckley's points came from because I believe they had 2 or 3 people ahead of him. I only got to see him run in the mile. The guy who won the mile, he was at least 250 meters ahead of everyone the whole entire race. So I think he just went up against some really stiff competition. But Worth County actually they showed up in the 4x1 as well.
We just put the city on the map, you feel me? Like, we already got, you feel me? Because we already got a state championship football. We just come down here and do the same thing.
Really all about handling that business, though, you feel me? When it's time to work, we're going to work.
That team was super excited. They talked about, that connection of them on the football field and how they got to make it happen. They asked me after the race, they were like, can we get an interview even though we got 6? I'm like, guys, that's really good. Y'all top 6 in the state. That's a big deal.
And in a meet, you get points for finishing top 8. So getting those points matter in the end. Ultimately, Worth County didn't have enough, but it still contributes to their position. And then Kalijah Thomas, 5th in the 200 meter, but he also ran really well in the 100. And I believe he came in 3rd in the 100.
Yeah, he did do really well in the 100 as well.
Kalijah, somebody we see has an immense amount of speed. I don't know, maybe he's coming onto the scene. I think it was a little late for us, but he's really made a name for himself down the back half of the season.
I told you that was my first time really seeing it. When I think of Kalijah, I think of the running back on the football field, but seeing him in person, it's cool to see his speed translate because some people, they can't translate it like that, but he does a really good job of that.
We go out to Nashville, Berrien County, 4x200, placed 6th. Berrien has a couple of runners that we really get excited about. What about the Rebels' performance stood out to you? Were there any standouts that you can kind of point to?
the stage just wasn't too big for them. I really liked the way that Cole Stone ran. And just to see the team as a whole run together, they kind of had it in the bag in the 4x2. They were in the first heat, I believe, so they weren't in the fastest heat. But they looked good out there. The exchanges were good, and they were able to take home 6, and they were super excited about that.
It means a lot coming from a really small town, not a lot of winning record, and we come here, we make a name for ourselves when we get on the podium at state. Yes, sir.
Walk me through third and fourth leg. Walk me through y'all's legs.
I be selling on the last 20 meters, but this time I did all I could and gave him the baton, and he did his thing. Yes, sir. Hey, when I felt the stick in my hand in the first place, I knew what time it was. We hauled him down, and we got the dub.
Before we get off the Berry Inside, Morgan, we have to give a special shout out to Brandon Mihalek. He gave the soundbite of the year for us here at WAOB, and he did just finish one place shy of making it to the podium. He finished 9th, but what an incredible run it's been for him. I know it's been fun to watch him on my side. How about you? Yeah,
I just love everything about Brendan. I hope that we actually made his year with his interview, because he definitely made our year for sure. One of my highlights from this track season.
We switched to some of the 6A teams now. Lowndes and Tift County both in action. Lowndes did not maybe have the performance that maybe we're used to or we want to see from them. But the 4x200 team did place, and they were able to get some points for the Vikings. What about Lowndes this year just to made them maybe not stack up to some of those Atlanta teams?
I think it's just always different once you get towards the Atlanta teams. I think down here they do really well because they are a talented bunch, but just something about those Atlanta schools, I don't know what it is.
They run all year round, that's what it is.
Yeah.
They did reach the podium, and here, let's take a listen to what they had to say after their big race.
It means a lot. The beginning of the season, you know, we had to go through injuries. Middle of the season, we PR'd school record, and then we came out here. Weather wasn't the best, but we made the most of it, and 7th in the state. Go Lowndes.
Okay, Morgan, back to the Class A Division I. A heartbreaker for Victor Copeland. But just as he did in the regionals, he bounced back in the finals for the 200. Talk about his wild day and how that all went down.
Yeah, so you know Victor's journey to the 100 this year has been a little bit different. He didn't really run it all season. Then he ran it at region, and then he comes out here at state. He's in lane 8. And I get there right before they run. I'm like, I got to watch the guys run this. And then he false starts. And I'm like, I could cry for Victor. But one thing about Victor, and I feel like this is something I can say about a select few of athletes, he's an amazing athlete, but he really is an even better person. When all the guys on the 100 got up to the podium, even though obviously he wasn't up there because he false started, he went up there and dabbed every single one of their hands. But I also knew, knowing Victor, he's coming for it in 200, and that's what he did. And then Nairobi Graham, we've talked about her for the past few years. She got on the podium in 2 events. And what I liked about what Nairobi said is that she's already looking forward to next season. She came onto the track scene a little bit later, but she talked about, lifting weights, getting ready for her senior season. And I reckon she'll be on the podium again next year.
I just took from what I did in the 100, I didn't do so well, so I took that and put it towards my 300 hurdles.
To be able to PR in the last meet of the season, how do you hope to build on this next year?
I feel good. I'm going to keep working hard, start lifting more, to build more muscles so I can be better next year.
Long legs. That's all I can say about it. I don't know if it's athletic ability, God-given talent. Those long legs are going to do some damage. They didn't quite pan out the way she wanted to. I know she wanted to place a little bit better in some of her events, but I have no doubt that Nairobi's going to be just fine. She is super athletic, and I watched the way she strides. I think she'll be fine, specifically as she kind of gets to know her body more and her movements more. And everything on the track she's capable of. It truly is going to be something special to watch once it all clicks. Stay with us. We are going to talk about the field events when we come back as we wrap up this episode of Sports Talk. All right, we're back here on Sports Talk. 1 block to go, Morgan. We have to touch on the field events. Jamari Johnson from Tift County, back-to-back high jump champion. What about Jamari is so special?
That he didn't do track for forever. He thought he was a wrestler, but he's actually a jumper. And I love what he said after the meet about how track has really just changed the trajectory of his life.
I'm just overly grateful, very grateful.
I know your path to doing high jump was a little bit different. How excited or how grateful are you that you decided to do it?
Actually very grateful because it changed my life majorly. I got to go to different colleges, different places, see new stuff. was a very much door opening for me.
Another newcomer on the track scene is Call Quits Ty Moore. He placed third in the discus in his first time ever throwing. I wasn't able to get him throwing. I didn't get most of the field events, but big shout out to him for placing third in his first year in the event. And then Worth County's Kevarius Tyler, the long jump champion, and I spoke with him after his event as well.
Well, the experience, it was good, you know, big place. First time being here, a lot of people out watching, you know, kind of was scared, but just went out there, did my best, got first place, you know.
You talk about being scared a little bit. How were you able to shake those nerves off and win first?
Well, just sat down in my own thoughts, just, you know, talked to myself, told myself that I'm going to be good, you know, just go out there and jump again. And, you know, I went out there and did good.
Morgan, Lowndes has some up-and-comers that are really starting to set their name on the scene. Kamaria Davis, 4th in the discus. Madison Quinn, 8th in discus. And then Carly Harris, 7th in shot put. Really special days for those ladies, and they all are going to be returning, and they're all really excited about maybe what the future holds for the Lowndes Vikings.
It feels great. This is my second time coming to state, and I just can't wait for the future.
I feel good. I'm just glad that I was able to compete and then PR and then place on the podium.
It was really exciting. I'm very blessed to be able to have the opportunity, and yeah, I'm really proud, really excited. So.
Did it feel any different being on this track today?
It did. It was a lot more pressure. I felt good about everything though. Tried my best, so that's all that matters.
And if there was a top scorer for Lowndes, it would probably be Ty Jennings, placing in all his events, 5th in long jump, 5th in the 100, 7th in the 200, and obviously you saw he was a part of that 4x2 team. So a really good day for Ty as well.
Lowndes always produces high-level athletes. All of South Georgia going up to Athens, running on a big boy track and showing out for everybody here in South Georgia. It was really, really exciting. Glad we were able to be there for the first 2 days of the GHSA state championships. We got so much more coming this week. We got GHSA soccer and baseball, state championships on the way. So much more to come on Sports Talk as we progress through the week. Thank you for joining us here tonight. We will see you guys tomorrow night.